We're the badass babes of entertainment.
Let's be renegades, reckless, running through our veins. Let's be renegades, good for nothing, runaways. That girl got her own bag.
Welcome to the Badass Babes of Entertainment. I'm Brenda Fisher,
And I'm Megan Katz.
and we have an amazing casting director here with us today, Danielle Eskinazi. Welcome, welcome.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, especially after a long day of casting. She's joining us for the
Yes.
podcast. So
Yes.
I want to read a little bit of your bio so that everyone can get to know you better.
Okay.
Danielle Eskinazi is an award-winning casting director with an eye for talent and a sixth sense when it comes to spotting substance beneath the surface. With over 2 decades casting films, television, theater, and commercials, Danielle has cast such known talent as David Bowie, Rosanna Arquette, Woody Harrelson, while also launching the careers of now successful actors including Hank Azaria and Milla Jovovich. I know I'm going to torture that name. I always do, but love her. She is highly respected in the business for her creativity, integrity, and ability to draw out audition-nailing performances. Welcome to the Badass Babes of Entertainment, Danielle Eskinazi.
Why, thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that all you have for me? Isn't there more?
Yeah, oh, there's so much more.
Thanks for coming on. We'll see you
Yeah,
later.
yeah, we're like, oh, that's awesome. So Milla is so funny because I constantly quote her from The Fifth Element when she was Lilu.
Yes.
That's like my absolute,
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies of all time. And I know Megan's looking at me like, what is that?
I have no clue who that is, but I do know who Hank Azaria is, and I saw him. We were going into the same Broadway show in New York, and I almost died. I was like, fangirl. I was like, oh, we're seeing the same show. How cool.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I found Mila when she was like 13 years old.
Wow.
And we were, I was working for Disney at the time. We were doing this film called Night Train to Kathmandu. Sorry if I'm losing my voice. I've been talking all day, but a Night Train to Kathmandu, and it was filming in Nepal.
Oh, wow.
And we were looking for 15-year-old girls, but she was like 5'9", and she was absolutely beautiful. And Disney fell in love with her and gave her first film that I put her in, which was really cool. And she went to Nepal on her first film, which is amazing.
Wow.
That's luck.
That is luck. And I mean, she has done so much. She's like the main person from Resident Evil. Like all those movies. Like she's a badass.
She's a
done it
badass,
all.
for
Yes.
sure.
It's so that's got to be like really exciting for you to watch her grow up in the industry, knowing that you worked with her when she was so
I'm like,
young.
oh my gosh, you got another part. Oh my God, you got another part. Oh my God, she's starring in that film. It was good. It was really good to watch. And then Hank Azaria, I think, was just out here from New York. And I was doing a film with Sean Penn called Cool Blue.
Okay.
And we loved him and put him together with Sean Penn, and they got along so well that Sean Penn was like, he's the guy. So that was
I love
another
that.
one. That was really cool.
That's cool.
See, and Hank for me, it's always getting the birdcage. Just always.
Yeah, exactly.
He was so funny in that.
You mean
I
not
love
my video that went straight to video movie? Yeah,
Which one was that?
Cool Blue. I put him
Cool
in that.
Blue?
Which
That went straight to video? Oh, it's
video.
pandemic. Didn't everything go straight to video?
Well, that was like 20 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
I'll have to go watch
When
now. I don't know.
when
that
I
one.
put him in his first film. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. It was cool. It's cool.
I haven't
He's-
seen that one. A movie I haven't seen?
Yeah.
Seen it
Well,
all,
I don't know if
actually.
you're going to want to see it.
Now I have to. Just to say I did. Dang it.
So, Danielle, we are curious, how did you get your start in casting?
Oh dear. I was working in the retail business on Melrose with this thrift store. I was a buyer. And I was so bored with my retail job. I asked a friend of mine at the time who was working at Triad, there was like CAA, William Morris, Triad. And I asked her, like, I want to get in the business. What could I do? I'm so bored. So she said, try casting. I'm like, okay. I had no idea what the hell I was getting into. But so she hooked me up with one of the biggest casting directors team. And that was Risa Bramon and Billy Hopkins on a film called At Close Range. So it was with Christopher Walken, James Foley directed it, and Sean Penn and Kiefer Sutherland, and like all these amazing actors, all very young.
Mary Stuart Masterson.
Yes, did you see it?
Uh-huh.
You did. Okay. So yeah, so I was the assistant on that film, and when they gave me the job, they gave me an address, and they needed a casting assistant for the West Coast because they were doing movies in New York, so they needed someone to sort of answer phones and audition people. I have never done that before. So I walked into my office, and they gave me the most beautiful office on Sunset, looking over the view. And this is like my first day. And sitting in my office on the floor was Sean Penn. And he said, I'm talking to my wife. Is it okay if I use this space? I'm like, oh, totally, go ahead. And he was talking to Madonna.
Yeah, I was going to say he was married to Madonna then.
Yeah, she did all the music to that movie. And so
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I felt like I found my niche. I worked with Risa Bramon and Billy Hopkins. During that whole time, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But Lee Daniels, who was a manager at the time, was basically my mentor.
Oh,
and
wow.
He would call me and say, don't worry, you got this. This is what you do. This is how you read them. It was just a most amazing experience I've ever had. And then I went on and worked for Amanda Mackey, who did League of Their Own, and worked for Vicki Thomas, who did Sid and Nancy, Ronnie Eskel, who did all of Quentin Tarantino films. And those were all my mentors. So, and then Disney gave me their films and did that, worked in a bunch of independent films, and then I went into commercials.
You know what I think is so interesting is that most casting directors that we interview started out as actors. But you're
really?
like the one that, and there was another, Peter Pappas, that he was doing like financial work. So you're like a buyer on Melrose, and then you're like, I think I'm gonna do this thing called casting. I don't even know what it is. Like
that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah,
so,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a great way to get into the business. It was either sink or swim. And it was an amazing ride. I mean, I learned so much from the most amazing people. So yeah, it was great.
Our show's sponsor today is Roasted Luxury. And this coffee is so freaking good. I can't even begin to tell you. You'll never have to leave home again for coffee. And it's organic, fair trade, and small business, which you know we love. This is a good thing. They offer honey processed coffee, which means that the coffee is naturally sweeter. So you badass babes can add less sugar and have that second or third cup without the guilt, which we also love. Go to roastedluxury.com and use promo code BABES15 for 15% off your entire order. And you can feel good about helping a local business person who is also a badass babe. Yes. So thanks so much to Roasted Luxury for being our very first sponsor on Badass Babes of Entertainment.
I actually met you in one of your commercial classes, and I loved it. I learned so much, took so much away from that. So I'm just kind of curious, how did you want to start teaching classes?
I'll tell you, I started going on Twitter, and there were so many actors that were so, they just all felt so insecure. Mm-hmm. And just felt like they had no one to turn to or no one to ask anything to. And they had tons of questions. So I started on Twitter doing 20 minutes of Ask a Casting Director something that you need to know. So I did that like twice a week. And then I thought, I should start classes because these guys need sort of a mentor, just like I had.
Right.
I started them and they just started booking up so quickly. And because of my presence on Twitter, it made them feel like I was a bit more tangible to them, that I wasn't like this intimidating casting director that was like, going to shoot them down. And how I teach my classes is not tough love, but it's affirming what they're doing and giving them redirection in a very positive way, as opposed to, yelling at them or being negative or whatever, So I think actors just need a little hand holding more than anybody else in the business. So it's been working and it's been fun. I really like my classes.
That's awesome. And I'm sure that your students appreciate them as well, because it's nice when someone really cares and really wants to help, get you to the next level. And so you're not nervous and you can go in guns a-blazing.
Yeah, exactly. And they do
Absolutely
so
true
much
about-
better. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was just gonna add. I was just gonna agree with you. The fact on actors being like, "Oh, you're more tangible. You're a human being. I get to talk to you," which is always great.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yes. 'Cause we refer to casting as the great and powerful Oz. So
What?
yes.
Really? Okay, I like that.
Behind the curtain.
So whether you're doing an audition or in your classes, what's the biggest difference that you can see between a beginning actor, a green one, and a more seasoned one?
Well, a more seasoned one obviously comes in with a lot of confidence and they ask a lot of questions. They're just more comfortable in the room. Actors who are just starting out are just so intimidated by actually being in the room that we can't see what they can give us. So we really sort of have to mold them a little bit and make them as comfortable as possible and see what they have. I think when you're going into an audition for the first time as an actor, it's scary. You have the guy behind the camera, you have me in there. And sometimes, in callbacks, you have the client. So it's so bizarre, to be in that situation and not know exactly. So that's why I always say take classes and get more comfortable with yourself.
Absolutely.
That's great advice. Do you have any other advice for actors?
Be patient.
What's that word? Can you translate that for us, please?
Let me spell it out for you.
Yeah.
Please.
You have to be patient because it's not going to happen overnight at all. It just takes time. It takes classes. It takes fortitude, productivity. It's just if you're going to do this, just, be patient. That's all I could really say. And just believe in yourself. I do a lot of affirmations on Twitter, just to kind of get them going and get their spirits happening again. They just, if actors hear no, it's like derail, so it's like, there's always another chance. It's called tomorrow and you can just go on another audition and be fine with it. You'll be fine.
And how do actors like get seen by you? How are they like memorable to you? What's the best way to stand out without being obnoxious?
That's a good one.
Without being obnoxious is be as grounded as possible. Don't put on any airs because we see right through that. Just come in, do your job and go. That's all we ask for. And, obviously, if we try to redirect you, don't say, got it, and then do the exact same thing. You know what I mean? So a lot of actors do that. They don't listen, so when they don't listen and they do the same thing, it's just hard to work with them.
That is a very, very good point. Listen, people, listen. All All right. So the big question that we like to ask everybody is we would like you to do a shout out to a badass babe in your world that has done something to help elevate you on your journey.
Someone who I'm gonna have to say Risa Brayman. She just was, and has been such an inspiration for so many actors, and has been doing these amazing classes and podcasts, and really loves actors and nurtures them. And I'm still friends with her from 20 years ago. So I'm going to give a shout out to Risa Brayman.
Oh, that's awesome.
Risa Brayman Garcia. Yeah.
Yes, we love Risa.
Yeah, we actually interviewed her.
Yeah, she was on our podcast the last round. So we got to talk to her.
About me? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. You were busy, and so we had to get you scheduled in. But yeah, she was lovely. What a nice person. So I totally get that.
Yeah. And I taught a couple of her classes too. She brought me in. She's just a wonderful heart.
Yes.
For a lot.
You definitely sense that. And she loves dogs.
That's important.
It is very important.
In Brenda's world, it is.
In my world, it is. We had a whole conversation about her doggies, and
I'm with you, Brenda.
Yeah, I literally had her in my phone as casting lady with the dogs.
That's a good way to remember Risa Brayman for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, she had the 2 dogs, and then she ended up, I think, fostering another one, but now she's keeping it.
Oh, yeah, you can't. How do people foster dogs? I don't get that.
I can't.
Like 6 months, and it's like, there you go. No, you can't do that. No.
I know. I would have 50 if you'd let me. I have 3.
You do? I have 2.
Yeah.
I want to get one more.
They're the best.
I know. They're so grounded.
They are, and they're always happy to see you, and they're so much fun.
When the doorbell rings, it's always for them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. They're like, wait, is that DoorDash? Is that the Grubhub guy? I know that's for me. That's awesome.
You're very
well, thank you so much. I know you've had
Danielle.
a long day of working and doing your thing and then jumping on here with us. We really appreciate it.
Do. Thank
Not
you.
a problem. It was such a pleasure, and it's good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's good. It's like good to see people. Like, it's almost like we're in person, almost.
Almost. I know. We can't touch.
No, exactly.
High
five.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Danielle.
Have a good night.
All right, you too.
This episode was produced by me, Megan Ketz.
And me, Brenda Fisher.
Thanks to our Grammy-nominated sound engineer, Herman Villacorta. We have another amazing guest next week, so be sure to listen. If there's a topic you would like us to cover, message us on Instagram at Babes of Entertainment, also on Facebook, Babes of Entertainment, and on Twitter, Babe_podcast.
And now TikTok, Babes of Entertainment on TikTok. Woo, woo, woo. This podcast was produced by RSA Entertainment and Rogue Matter. Join the movement. Go Rogue.
Bad girl with a good heart. Lost boy got a fresh start. And she's my gasoline. Slick chrome on the Mustang. Drop top, no we don't play. 'Cause I'm